Only 7 hours left to prevent another government shutdown. The deadline is midnight. We're awaiting an upcoming vote on a spending bill by the Senate. It's expected to pass there, but uncertain in the House. Democrats once again stalling on the budget to force a fix over Dreamers. Nancy Pelosi pulled a dramatic stunt yesterday, a record-setting 8-hour speech on the floor.
So now we have the first Republican president in modern times, the first president, really, who is anti-immigrant. We're not asking for something off the wall. It is something that is, maybe it is off the wall. Maybe the wall is the issue here. The Republican moral cowardice must end. During the night when I was thinking and praying so hard about our Dreamers, I thought maybe we should just pray all day on the floor of Congress. Maybe I should bring my rosary blessed by the Pope.
Oh, my goodness.
Did it yield any results? Even Democrats aren't happy with the minority leader's performance. One of Nancy's colleagues fell asleep during the speech.
That's brutal. Right?
Another unnamed liberal tells Politico, quote, "This stunt had nothing to do with protecting vulnerable members who have to take a difficult vote." And here's Congressman Luis Gutierrez.
Good for her. I'm happy she's stepping up. I hope now she keeps the fight going. Speeches are great. They're good. They're important. And I'm thankful for the speech. But more important is to maintain your principle, maintain your political principles.
All right, well, this has been said many times before, Kimberly, but I think it's worth repeating. Nancy Pelosi has never stood up that long for veterans, for police officers, for factory workers, for constitutional rights. But when it comes to illegals, she's there for 8 hours.
Or for religious freedom.
or anything.
Yes, exactly. Well, but this just goes to show you where her mindset is, and it's politics and ideology at all expense. And so then the problem is she comes off as not being a very genuine person. It comes off as a sort of, political circus and theatrical, and you lose credibility when you do things like this. And so, this, unfortunately, she's had this reputation for quite some time. She represented my district in San Francisco. It's my ex-husband number one's aunt. What can I say? Interesting Thanksgivings and Christmases.
I can imagine. I feel the same way sometimes.
I'd be back into that.
I think it was your influence, Geraldo.
Yes,
really.
Whenever you're at the table.
Geraldo, Republicans love this. They say, Nancy, do 8, do 16. They want to see more Pelosi. It's a great advertisement. Her face of the Democratic Party. I mean, she's the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, you have to admit it was an impressive physical performance. She outlasted all the guys for the 20th, 21st century. And she did it in high heels. So it's like Ginger Rogers. She did the same thing as Fred Astaire, only dancing backwards in high heels.
How do you know Rand Paul was not wearing high heels? You don't know that.
That's a story I've always wanted to probe.
Poor Rand.
But
we love Rand.
For me, to couple the budgetary process with the Dreamers' plight is a terrible disservice to the Dreamers, to the DACA. Mm-hmm. To make them the issue, this inflammatory issue. Immigration raises the hackles of people on both sides, and to make that the headline for the Democrats' point of view on the budgetary process is so unfair and so counterproductive. I just think that, I only wish that I was in charge of this aspect, getting the Dreamers their future secure. I think that Nancy Pelosi did absolutely nothing to further that goal.
And a lot of people in her caucus believe that. They say, you were at the bargaining table, you said this is a good bill, and then you were going to vote against it. What was the point of the stunt?
Well, that is true, although I'm trying to put myself in maybe more of a progressive or a Dreamer shoe, and shoes, high heels even, and looking at it from that perspective. And Nancy Pelosi has been under the gun for a lot of different reasons. Of course, she is the public enemy number one for Republicans. And also there's this intergenerational discussion going on with the Democrats and suggestions that at 77 years old, she needs to move on. And then she showed them that, actually, I have more stamina than all of you. I'll stand here for 8 hours, and I will talk about the issue that the most progressive part of our party cares about. So maybe it doesn't advance the ball legislatively, but perhaps for her politically, it does help her in the midterms with that section of her base.
Pretty impressive. 8 hours, Tom. Have you ever done anything for 8 hours straight?
I mean, it's every day. It's all I do. 8 hours, I'm here at Fox News. I mean, I don't know, 8 hours didn't impress. Why is this a record anyway? I mean, I saw Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. He was there for like 2 days. What's the deal?
That's the Senate.
Okay, it's the Senate, and that's what Ted Cruz do. Ted Cruz did 21 hours, and everybody made fun of him. I don't think 8 is that impressive.
Okay.
I don't care about the heels.
In high heels. In high heels. I mean, these stunts,
Put on a pair tomorrow and let's talk.
Yeah, actually don't. These stunts have not been working. We've had the Schumer shutdown, the Pelosi marathon speech. They've been boycotting the inauguration. Is there something else besides stunts, Kimberly, that the Democrats have?
No, every day it's like, Ripley, believe it or not, what are they going to do next? I mean, what are they actually getting done? How about helping people and coming to the table and working cooperatively? And I say this, for both sides, that everybody needs to do it because the other side has been guilty of the same. So we got to call it out right now. We call it out when we see it from the other side. But let's actually get some traction here and try to do something. Your 8 hours are better spent sitting at the table with key members of the other party or with the president and actually trying to work on something. American people are tired of this dog and pony show, the Pelosi pony show in the heels and not heel. I mean, come on. It's like enough already.
It's true about Ted Cruz, too. I mean, where the Democrats said this is a stunt that will get you nothing, and it didn't get them anything. So elections are the best revenge. I mean, the only thing that you can do to get press when you're in the minority is to do a stunt that will help you. And remember, they don't care that they're not getting good press here. They're getting good press back in their districts or on their blogs. That's what matters to them. They're raising more money than Republicans so far. I think that could change in Q1 of 2018 after the tax reform bill is in and Republicans' numbers, including the president's, are way up compared to then. But for right now, the best thing that they could do is get enough press that they can in their districts, but raise a ton of money and try to win the election. That's the only way that you actually win.
And they're not raising a lot of money. They're in debt on the DNC side. They have a lot of bills to pay. Geraldo, the media is not talking about the split within the Democratic Party. They love to cover splits in the Republican side. But how deep of a split on the left is there over this issue?
Well, the short answer is I don't know that there is a Democratic Party anymore. But I just want to go back to what Kimberly said. How impressive, how surprisingly optimistic was it yesterday when we saw Mitch McConnell agreeing with Chuck Schumer to go forward on a 2-year budget deal, 2 years. There's not going to be 10 minutes, not going to be 2 days, 2-year budget deal. Here they were, the majority leader, the minority leader, standing one after the other, my colleague. I said, my God, that's the way it's supposed to work. And then today we're back to this crap again. I just think that...
It was a mirage.
Yeah, hopefully
maybe it was
we don't have to
I had
keep
one tequila
this.
too many.
That's what it was, yeah.
Any last words, Shalou, before we move on?
I think they're going to get something done by, even if can they go past midnight? Can they do a little extension? They always like to bring it to the last minute. Okay.
Oh, they can move the clock back?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
But it'll be
Daylight savings.
11:59, they'll get something done, I think.